When diving into the topic of ethical hacking, most people think of the Certified Ethical Hacker or CEH certification by EC Council as kind of a good starting point. And while I also think that it's a good starting point, there is a whole buffet of options out there. Now, don't get me wrong, the CEH is a good stepping stone, but it's like the vanilla ice cream. It is reliable and well known. And as with ice cream, there is a whole buffet of options that you can choose from that will really take you into many different directions and tantalize the palate slightly better. So let's go on a flavor trip, shall we? Option 1 is to start learning for free. If you're just dipping your feet into the waters of ethical hacking, then there are two brilliant platforms that you can start with, which is hackthebox and tryhackme. These two options are like sample booths, right? So you can get to test and taste a few things at no cost, meaning that you can try ample scenarios and resources, and both of these platforms offer real-world hands-on practical scenarios to get you that much further to exploring kind of the hands-on side of ethical hacking without having to put up all the upfront costs involved in trying to learn and trying to get into the ethical hacking space. Next up, if you're feeling more adventurous and you really want to dive deep into the industry, meaning that you've made up your mind, you want to be an ethical hacker, then a certification that I would actually recommend far above CEH is the OSCP, Offensive Security Professional Certification by Offensive Security. And with the OSCP, this is like the dark chocolate of ice creams. It's rich, it's intense, and it's highly respected. It's the hands-on test of your skills and actually puts that stamp of approval for potential employers to know that, listen, this candidate has what it takes because you've come through the journey of OSCP, and there is no denying that you need to know how to hack in order to actually pass your OSCP and get the credential. Next up, we're going to move to the SANS certifications. Now, if you're going for SANS, then you really have to be invested in this journey, because if you've done a little bit of research into the certification options here, then you'll know SANS is not the most budget friendly. However, it's really highly respected in the industry. Let's put it that way. Now, let me read to you the name of the SANS portfolio that you can look at. So this is really the SANS Institute Global Information Assurance Certification, or the GAIC, and it offers a range of specialized cybersecurity certifications. When I think of the SANS, it's like the different toppings that you can get on a sundae. Like, you know, like an ice cream sundae, you can get multiple different toppings, and that's where SANS is. It's like this guaranteed good experience, and you can choose multiple different options. So here you can probably lean towards something like the GWAPT, which focuses on web application pen testing, and that certification has got such a strong reputation in the workplace. So it's definitely one that can really amplify your portfolio if you really intrigued and you want to go for the SANS certifications. Now, most in the beginning of their career don't tend to go for the SANS certifications because it really is that expensive, but sometimes SANS has really good options and programs, and if you happen to be able to become part of a program, highly recommend, highly. Next up, we're going to move to another delightful option, which is the INE Starter Pass. Now, INE, the Cybersecurity Starter Pass, offers a variety of options, letting you choose based on your level. So whether you're a beginner or whether you're intermediate or advanced, there are multiple options to choose from, and you also get the ability to have hands-on practice and actually work through multiple scenarios, and you can kind of align what you're selecting with INE based on your future goals, based on the type of ethical hacker that you want to be, the area that you want to focus on. So INE is almost like your all-in-one go-to if you just want to try out either some of the more bland options or some of the more rich and creamy options from the ice cream buffet. Alright, now that I've given you the idea of kind of the ice cream options that's out there for you to choose from, why don't we go and add some sprinkles onto our ice cream with some validated research data into why these other options may be more relevant to you than the classic vanilla. First up, the certification demands in job postings has shifted quite significantly. So in the past, we have seen more job postings for ethical hacker roles lean towards CEH because it's kind of the tried and tested, you know, it's the well-known. Now we are actually seeing that from a job posting perspective, there's actually the ask or the requirement for OSCP specifically mentioned inside of the job postings, as well as the SAN certifications and INE specifically, along with CEH. So remember, you don't have to meet the entire criteria. You can have one or two of these options, but these options are mentioned nearly as many times as CEH. And then, of course, let's talk about the salaries. Let's talk about the options that you have and the comparison from a salary data perspective. Now, I've got the data here, and a salary comparison study suggests that professionals with OSCP and the SAN certification tend to earn higher average salaries compared to those with only the CEH certification. Alright, but what does this mean for you and for your path and for your future in cybersecurity? It is still your choice. The journey that you want to go on is still your choice. I'm merely letting you into the bigger world that there are other options, alternatives to CEH. For me personally, CEH has never been something that I have leaned towards. I think that there are a number of alternate options that you can explore, and especially if you're just starting out, I would go straight back to the tryhackme and hackthebox to really see if this is something that you want in a career and if this is something that you want to do on a daily basis. Thereafter, I would start investing in certifications and maybe explore the alternate options other than CEH. Alright friends, there you have it. This is my perspective on whether you should or should not get the CEH certification. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope everyone also now wants ice cream as much as I do, but I really hope you enjoyed my take on ethical hacking and certifications in combination with ice cream flavors. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave a like, it really helps out my channel, and subscribe if you're interested in any cybersecurity videos. And next up, you should definitely watch this video where I give you the exact path to follow if you are looking to become an ethical hacker. Catch you next time, friends. Bye.